Hi, we're here today with Marcie Stickney from Norman Public Schools. She is a transition specialist and she's going to tell us a little bit about her job. So Marcie, can you tell us what a transition specialist does?
Amber, over the years, my job has evolved. Originally in 2001, when I started with the district, my title was job coach. I had gone through job coach training through the university, and I was granted two vans for transportation for my students and 2 assistants. We met students anywhere from the front door of the schools to a classroom, and I made community contacts so that these students would have the opportunity to work out in local businesses, gaining the skills they would need to transition to the world of work. And again, as I said, over the years, the position has changed. My title is transition specialist now, and I have a multitude of hats or duties that I perform, some on my own doing, some district approved. So I still have my programs that are at each of the high school. We have gone from 1-hour classes to 3-hour elective. That way the students get a full work experience. They have anywhere from 20 minutes to a half hour of travel time to and from a job. That way they have a full 2 hours on the job, getting set up, completing their task, and finishing. They learn time management as they have to report to an employer, a supervisor. They have to get their tools out, whatever it may be. They complete their jobs. Then they have to put those tools away, whether it's in a restaurant, with a car dealership, could be a nursing home. And then they have to meet their ride, so that time management is a key component of part of what they're learning.
That sounds great. So I know you had to partner with different employers, but did you partner with any other agencies to get this started? I'm sure a lot of educators would think, oh my gosh, this sounds great, but my principal won't let us off campus. I'd like to know how you overcame the liability issues of taking students off campus, and did you have to partner with any other agencies to get this started?
Yes, we do partner with several different agencies. A key component to our program is the Oklahoma Department of Rehabilitation Services. So we partner with them. The district has a contract with them. They had the contract prior to my accepting this position, and they had written up a liability agreement form. Our district lawyers had approved it, so we have a form that is filled out and signed by myself, the student, the parent, the business, and my administrator. And it spells out exactly what each party is responsible for. And so that's our legal contract that takes care of the liability. Then the different agencies, as I worked through the years, I realized that I needed more help. And I also understood that these students would need additional help when they left us. And so we started networking and learning more about the community agencies that could be helpful for these young adults. And so we meet monthly. We have contracts with several. We work with, as I said, Department of Rehabilitation Services, a local community ABLE program, which helps some of our students out in the workforce. Sometimes some of our students might transition to an adult activity center. And so we work closely with the directors there. We partner a lot with the Zorro Center for information and assessments and professional development. There are numerous agencies. I'm sure I'm forgetting. Dale Rogers is one that we work with. We do a summer program called iJobs that is a collaboration of a lot of different agencies.
Could you tell me a little more about iJobs? I understand that's fairly new.
iJobs is a fabulous program that the Oklahoma Department of Rehabilitation Services started. We were fortunate in Norman to work with Moore Public Schools, Norman Public Schools, Department of Rehabilitation Services, Dale Rogers, occasionally Galt Foundation is involved, and I'm sure I'm forgetting someone, and if I do, forgive me. And it is a summer program. Students must be on a DRS caseload, and they apply for the program. It's an application program. If they're accepted, they have to provide their own transportation to and from work. They can work up to 20 hours a week, paid position, and then they meet on a Friday afternoon to kind of decompress, to talk about what's happening, what do I need to work on, what it's like to be in the workforce.
Do students have jobs when they enter the program, or does the program help place them in jobs?
The program helps place them in jobs. They do an interest assessment to try to match the student to something of their interest, and then it's kind of knocking on doors and networking.
So do you have any success stories from the iJobs program?
We have lots of success stories, and we have a couple of failures too.
Well, let's hear one of each.
Yes, well, the failure can be a good thing, because what a student will learn is they really wanted the work and they wanted the paycheck, but they didn't understand what it took to perform on a job. And so that has been helpful where they have failed during the summer, but when they have come to me during the school year, they have been a success because they understood what they could and could not do on the job. Now, as for successes, some of them have been hired by the programs that they worked through during the summer. So anytime you are hired, that is a great success.
That is wonderful. So can you briefly mention any other programs that Norman Public School has for students who are transitioning to life after school?
During the 15 or so years I've been doing this, I have great administration that works with me and understands the need for all individuals to be successful when they leave the district. And so I've proposed several different programs which I am fortunate the district has approved. Originally, we just had our job coach program. I expanded that from 1 hour to 3 hours. I worked with both schools so that I could have a morning program at one high school and an afternoon program at the other high school. They have, again, provided me with the vans to transport students with assistants that are job coach trained and act as job coaches with the businesses. We found that some of our students, as they were coming to me, were not quite prepared. So we developed 2 transition centers at each high school, and these transition centers work with the students to build on, a lot of times it's just their focus. Start a job, complete the job, finish the job, taking care of putting items away. And a lot of students didn't understand that they might have to focus for 40 minutes straight on a task. Once these students go through the transition centers, which rotate between, could depend anywhere from 12 to 16 different units. It could be piecework, it could be maintenance, it could be cooking, it could be multiple of items. And again, we try to match it to their interest, but more importantly, we're trying to build that focus. And also some of those soft skills. We need them to be able to say, hey, I don't understand how to do this, to ask those questions that they're afraid to ask an employer. An employer can teach you the skill. They have a hard time teaching those soft skills.
Right.
And so we work real hard on developing the soft skills. In the transition centers, when a student's ready, they do take them. They have partnered with several local businesses, and they take them out with their job coaches and will work for maybe an hour, hour and a half at that job. They also do some transportation training. We are fortunate to have the local cart system, and we partner with them and do transportation. The students learn to ride the cart about town, getting to and from local businesses, perhaps shopping, so that we're working on those living skills as well. And we also try to develop that because when they leave us, they will probably use the local public transportation to get to and from work. Some of our students do graduate, get their driver's license, and we do work with DRS on obtaining the driver's license.
That's great. A lot of people don't realize that DRS can help students obtain a driver's license. And it sounds like you have worked really hard to make all of these connections. A lot of schools don't have an actual transition specialist. Would you be willing to talk to people or help create some type of job description for schools who want to create a transition specialist position?
I'm very open to anybody coming and spending time with me. I'm very open to sharing what we have, how we've developed our programs. In the past few years, I've had several different districts come and spend time. We actually developed our transition centers after Marty Brown's Yukon transition centers. And you know, we all have to work together to make these programs for these young adults work.
Absolutely. I think so many times in education, we're so concerned with what our school is doing. And I often hear, well, we don't have the administrative support. And what I found is when you have a dedicated group of teachers who are willing to say, hey, I heard about this great program in Yukon, and then you come back with everything you've learned, that people may be more open than you think, but they don't necessarily have the ideas themselves. So what advice do you have for working with administrators?
My administrator told me, if you come to me with a problem, I want you to bring the solution also. And I find when I come with a solution, they're more open because they can see the end result. They can see how we go from A to B to C. And I am more than open to talking with people about how to develop a program. In the past, we did an OTI breakout session that was very well received, and I am happy to share that information.
And how can people contact you?
Marcie, MARCIES at norman.k12.ok.us.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you, Amber.